It's been a year in that room, but the improvement's been a lot of fun to see. It's kind of funny you mentioned this group. I was having this exact conversation and describing it the exact same way you did with Taylor Brown, my director of player personnel, and Coach Hamby, and Trent Vasey, assistant quarterback coach, yesterday. Okay. Just kind of how proud I am of the group. Just again, you're starting with the left tackle was a tight end last year. This is really his first time playing tackle in college. Your left guard's a redshirt freshman. Your center is a guy that's never played center before. Your right guard had missed the last few games, and your right tackle's been bumping all across, playing everywhere right now, and came in and did a fantastic job, And so I'm extremely proud of that. And you'd always want to have more continuity and more consistency in the O-line, because to me that's the most special group and room on the football team is that O-line group, because they've got to be gelled together. All five got to be on the same page all at the same time. And so for us to kind of have the mismatches of where we've moved people and how it's gone, I'm extremely proud of that group and Coach Hamby and what he's been able to do. So again, I think you're going to see, hopefully we feel good with where we're at these last three, and these five guys can hang on where they're at and stay healthy these last, and I think you'll continue to see us improve in that room as we go on.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago getting to work with the offensive line because Coach Andy was out recruiting. Did you see something different or special that you could tweak that you guys implemented this past week?
Yeah, the biggest thing we did, if you watch the tape, we widened our splits out a little bit on the offensive line. And that was just something kind of, when you go back and watch Navy, I think that kind of, that hurt us a little bit. We screwed down too tight sometimes when we're stepping on each other, and so we're not being able to combo and get better blocks. And so I felt like, some people call that old school air raid, the old school air raid splits, where you're putting your linemen on islands more, and they've got to win one-on-one blocks. But with where we had been running the football and some stuff like that, I feel like we needed to do some kind of change. And so that's the biggest thing that we did. And again, that was just kind of as the head coach, the coordinator, I said, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this moving forward. And that's like Coach Hamby's, he knows like the back of his hand, because that's what he did in college. And so it was easy for us. It does change your run schemes a little bit, because now some of the combination blocks they're not as easy whenever you're so far away from each other. But we didn't run the ball a ton this last week, but I do think you saw the yards per carry improve, and that's really what we're looking for. We were struggling to run the football 2 yards a carry, and we had over 4.5 yards a carry this last game, and that's what we're looking for. So just some stuff like that we saw that we wanted to adjust, and our guys love it, and they're running with it, and it's been good.
My next one was the second group is the young guys. You had mentioned a couple weeks ago, again too, I think, of getting the young guys into play because it's the last 4 games and they can preserve it. And it's almost kind of old school where you can see what you're doing redshirt wise. They really stepped up and this past game. Maybe Damon Allen comes to mind. Can you talk about them and their progress, and especially coming off of a bye week a couple weeks ago and got to work with them more too?
Yeah, just you look at. Because to me, if you're a true sophomore or redshirt freshman or younger, you're really still really young to play. And you look out there, and I can start with Damon Allen playing nickel for us, playing a ton of snaps, made some big time plays, is getting better every week. Really excited about his future. Zion Parrott's been playing a ton of football. I know he didn't play this last week, but he should hopefully be back this week. He's playing a ton. Josh Roberts made us some big plays for us on Saturday. He's a true freshman. You had B. Hoke catch a couple big time balls and do some good stuff for us on the perimeter blocking as well. Jade Card running down on kickoff right now. Hector Chavez running down on kickoff right now. There's a lot of guys that are playing. Maybe some stuff that goes unseen. Talked about Big Mo Hines playing as a young guy at the left guard position. It's really hard to start in big time football as a redshirt freshman at the offensive line position. It's just tough. He's came in and done a fantastic job. So really excited about that core. Our true sophomores and younger. I think they're going to keep growing and keep developing, and it's all about being able to retain those guys. I feel like we can retain those guys, and they trust us here, and we can develop. We'll look up in a couple of years, and those are going to be some big time players for us here.
That's it for me. Is when I kind of live week to week, and Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday. But this is the kind of time of year where you get guilty of looking ahead, and I did that on Sunday. And you've got a tough road ahead. I think it's 20 combined, 20-8 overall.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the depth, and maybe this is where the team shows that they have improved, and this is the stretch where they really want this?
Yeah, I mean, this is where you want to be. We can still control our own destiny. I live in reality. I don't live in what could be or anything false. And so, I've told our team all the time, like, at this point, we're not going to make it to the American Championship game. That's out of the window. But what we can control is find a way to find 2 more wins to get us to a bowl game and go play football in December. And so, again, that's the beauty of where we're at. We can control that. We do. This is the toughest stretch that we're on all year long. I don't ever look ahead, but you do watch college football and you see stuff, and so UConn's 7-3, and they got the nation's leading passer who's thrown 25 touchdowns, no interceptions. Just because stuff like that pops up on social media. I know East Carolina has a bunch of really, really good football players, and they're starting to play their best football right now because they're in our league. I see crossover film, so I'm watching them play sometimes. This week, maybe the biggest one of them all, because we got to start fast right now on this last 3-game stretch. But we're in November football, and to me, November's it's a season of its own, especially in our league play. We are kind of in a weird situation with a non-conference game in late November, which is different. But this league is crazy, and anybody can beat anybody. And at the end of the day, we've got to play our brand of football. And if we can play close to what we did this past week, I think we're going to be in every game the remainder of the year.
Sorry, Justin. Talking about our brand of football, this morning you guys go out, take the field. It's certainly not the paradise of football that you've experienced thus far. Was there a little bit more giddy up in the guys since it was cooler for them?
I don't know. I started the team meeting this morning pretty fired up, trying to get them going. I'm not naive. Like I said, I live in the reality. Some of these South Florida guys, it gets below 70 degrees and they're freezing. And so I thought we had a great day. It was absolutely beautiful to me. I'm sure my guy from up north you're going to talk to in a minute thought it was probably still really, really hot outside. But it was beautiful. We did have a really upbeat practice. I thought our guys flew around. I think right now we understand where we're at, and that we got to go this week. And I think that's the mentality that our guys stepped on the field with this morning.
On Saturday, Caden obviously picked up his shoulder. Now it's been a couple days. How is he doing?
Yeah, man, he's up and down a little bit, to be honest with you. I still foresee him playing, but we're having to monitor him and be smart with him throughout the week. So he did some today. He wasn't full go. He did a little bit. Zach Gibson did a ton today, and Jordan Magwood as well stepped in and got some reps too. So again, plan on 10 being able to go this weekend. But again, y'all saw Zach Saturday. Zach's a vet, so if we got to roll Zach, we'll roll Zach. But the plan is to go out there with number 10 on Saturday.
Obviously you guys have put yourself in a position, like she said, to win 2 more games, get to a bowl game. What do you think it's going to take to finish the season strong against 3 pretty tough opponents?
Yeah, first off, we can create the turnovers that we did this last game. It just changes everything. We had so much momentum early because of what the defense was able to do for us, and it was fantastic. So if we can continue to create some turnovers like that, I think that's ticket number 1 in my opinion. That turnover margin these last 3 games. I think if you look up and you're in the positive, I think we look up and we're playing in December. I think if we look up and we're in the negative, good chance we're not playing in December. And, I could say that about our first 9 games too. I think we got another win or 2, under our belt if we're in the positives and not in the super negative like we are right now in turnover margin. So, offensively too, I thought the defense played fantastic on Saturday, and I thought we were up and down offensively. Got inside the 5-yard line twice and only got 3 points out of that. Those are things you can't have happen. I told the team on Sunday, I love to win, but I love to dominate more. And so we've got to go in there. We got to dominate these last 3 games and play our style of football. But it's going to start with, again, that turnover margin.
Aside from Caden, I know some other groups are dealing with injuries. Is there any updates on any of those guys?
Yeah, we're getting healthier. Again, a lot of it's going to be kind of see if they can warm up and play. We had a lot of that this past Saturday, and some guys just didn't feel comfortable, and more of it was probably like they probably could have gone, but they're realists also, and we're like, man, if I go, I'm going to be at 60%, and my 60% isn't better than A, B, and C's 100%. And so I do feel good about getting a lot of those guys back, especially in the secondary. We're banged up. The linebacker crew, they're playing through a lot of nicks and bruises right now, but they're battling for us. So hopefully we can get a lot of those guys, especially on the defense side of the ball, back this week.
Caden had said that he's dealing with a lingering shoulder issue all season. you know, maybe that has any effect on how he's dealing with this injury in particular now, since he's been with it all year.
No, you know, this is, you know, he's, the shoulder injury kind of hit him against Memphis. And so since then, we've been kind of battling this a little bit. And he's been, I guess I wouldn't say it, he hasn't been 100% every day since then, you know, but he's been able to practice a little bit here and there, and he's done a good job. And this is just a little setback for him again, you know, kind of it feels basically like it did after it got injured at Memphis, same type of deal. And we came back after Memphis, and he played a really good game against Rice. So I'm hoping a lot of the same this Saturday.
And, you know, obviously, I think you said it earlier, but if he can't go, we would see Gibson probably start.
Yeah. For some crazy reason, Tim can't play. It'll be Zach Gibson will get the start, and Jordan Magwood would be his backup.